The tit-for-tat violence continues in the Middle East. Suicide bombers pick targets in Israel, and the Israeli military strikes back. Recently, 200 women from 23 countries gathered to bicycle through Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan, demonstrating for peace in the region. Women cycling is not an unusual sight in many parts of the world, but in the Middle East it is. Sophie Nicholson has their story.
On a warm Sunday morning in downtown Beirut, families stroll along the seafront. Nearby, over 200 women from 23 countries chatter and stretch their legs. They're preparing their bicycles for the first day of a unique journey through the Arab world. British mother of two, Detta Regan, has spent the past 18 months working on the event. She aims to raise awareness of the suffering that the Middle East conflict is causing across the region. She's just about to see her dream become reality.
I'm dead excited. I'm really excited. I mean, to see everybody in the cycle gear this morning it's just brilliant. You know, and there's so many different countries and cultures and religions, and seeing them all with the cycle helmets in their hands, and yeah, I'm really excited today.
Detta, a former air traffic controller, has been working with young people from conflict areas for many years. Follow the Women was inspired by her work with young people living in the occupied territories. 25 Palestinians were due to take part, but only 11 made it through all the checkpoints. They joined other Palestinians from Jordan and refugee camps in Lebanon. Many used the trip to help them to get across borders to visit friends and relatives. And Sar Bugoti is from Ramallah in the West Bank.
I decided to do it because I want to, all of us want to prove to the whole world that although we have the wall, although we have checkpoints, although we have occupations, even we can't go from city to city inside Palestine, but we can share in anything in the world. We want to tell all the world that the Palestinian woman, she can do anything. She's like any woman in the world.
Kaf, Lam, Mim, Noon, Wow.
A simple lesson in Arabic for one of the European participants. The teacher is 20-year-old Basma Ayad from Iraq. Her cycling coach took the risk of driving the group of Iraqi girls from Baghdad to Lebanon. They traveled with temporary passports from the US Army and waited for 7 hours at the Jordanian border before being turned back. But they managed to cross the border the next day. The Ministry of Electricity decided to fund their trip, even though it has little money and can only supply 3 hours of power a day. They said it was important for the group to take part in the ride for peace. Basma says she was nervous that Iraqis would be unpopular.
I thought they will not like me because they speaking about the Iraqis so many not good words about us in the TV, in the radio. I'm afraid from that. You know, this is first time I'm leaving my country, and I coming to 3 countries that time. Okay, so that I'm a little nervous about that.
A traditional Syrian welcome for the women, who were received with dancing and feasting throughout the journey. From Beirut they travelled to the ancient city of Damascus in Syria. They continued south through vines and olive groves towards Basra. The streets were often lined with locals offering support. Some of them waited up to 7 hours to see the women. Many participants were overwhelmed by the welcome, including Detta.
When I first wanted to do this project, somebody said, oh, you won't be able to do it in Syria because the men will just throw stones at you and you'll have to be completely covered. It'll be impossible in Syria. Syria is a really closed country. It's different than some of the other countries. And then today, I mean, some of us are wearing shorts and they were throwing flowers at us and giving us and putting petals on our heads and things like this. I mean, that was incredible, actually.
But the journey was very difficult for some women. They cycled an average of 50 kilometers a day. Apart from stiff limbs and sunburn, many suffered more serious injuries. Elham Hayel from Jordan has both her arms in plaster. She didn't report her accident straight away because she was determined to finish.
So I make a break and I jumped on my hand.
so they broken both. But in Busra, I continued cycling because I didn't make X-ray in the first day, so I cycled because I want to cycle really. That was, and I finished the 50 kilometers, another 50 kilometers, and after that I got directly to the hospital, and I make the X-ray, and they found 2 in the wrist of the left hand and the elbow of the right hand, and they got this. Look at it.
After 2 nights in Bedouin tents, the cyclists travelled the last tough stage from the Jordanian desert to the capital, Amman. There they took part in a 2-day conference working on new projects for peace in the region. One of the things that came out of the conference was the importance of the bike ride for the Arab women. Even Detta said she was surprised.
I knew it was different, but when they talked about how it was sort of changing their lives and how they'd had arguments with the husbands about these bike rides and how they wanted to continue and they want to meet every week, and you know, that really sort of surprised me, because this is a sort of big added bonus that I only partly took into account actually.
As the conference closed, the Iraqi and Palestinian women wondered whether they would be able to cross their borders to return home. Basma said that whatever happens, she has no regrets about taking part.
It's a wonderful experience, and I learned from this so much, and I make more of friendship with the other girls from other countries. It's a wonderful experience.
So much so that they joined in song to celebrate it. For The World This Weekend, I'm Sophie Nicholson in Amman, Jordan.